Are you from Calgary, Alberta, and the bank has declined you for a mortgage? If that's the case, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about private mortgages and how to get a private mortgage in Calgary, Alberta. The problem right now is a lot of banks have a very black and white approach on how they underwrite mortgages. So, private lenders have come up in the form of people or corporations to help people like you get their mortgage approved. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of private mortgages, what the rates are like with private mortgages, where to go to get a private mortgage in Calgary, paperwork requirements, income requirements, and credit requirements. So, what is a private mortgage? A private mortgage is when a lender, like a bank, they're called mortgage investment corporations, or individual people fund a mortgage for you when a bank won't normally do it. Now, there is, of course, a premium on that. And one of the premiums that you'll find is an increase in rate. And there's also lender fees that are involved in that. And I'm going to talk more about lender fees and the cheapest way of getting this done later in the video. One of the great things is private lenders will focus on the property more than the actual individual. I mean, you could have a really horrible credit score and still get funded by a private lender. So how are we going to get you this mortgage and what are the paperwork requirements? So first and foremost, as far as paperwork goes, they're going to ask for an employment letter. They are going to ask for a pay stub. They do want to make sure that you are employed. However, you do not necessarily always need a job to get a private mortgage. I've funded hundreds of private mortgages where the people have had no job at all. Next, the bank is going to ask for an appraisal. They want to know that the value of the property is there for what they're spending their money on. They're going to ask for a credit report. They don't base everything on your credit. I've seen credit scores as low as 400 get approved for private mortgages, but they do want to see if you are capable of repaying your debt. Next, they take a mortgage application and I will fill that mortgage application out for you so it's done properly when we present it to the bank. Next, they're going to want some bank statements to prove that you have the money available for a down payment and government ID to prove you are who you say you are. So private lenders are super flexible, and I want to talk to you about some of the pros and cons about private mortgages right now. Number one is that they're flexible. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. The higher your credit score is, the lower the rate that you'll get through the private lender. If you have income, the better the rate you'll get through the private lender. And if the property is in a major municipality, then you'll get a better rate through a private lender. But I have done private mortgages for all kinds of people, including builders. When they're fully maxed out, they are draw mortgages that builders can get through private lenders. There are lines of credit, so business lines of credit that you can do through private lenders as well. Private lenders have faster approval rates. So if you are in a transaction and you need to close a deal in 2 days, only a private lender can do that for you. Normal banks can't. Please call me on that. If you have a deal you need to close fast. Private lending is always considered a short-term solution. So you don't want to be in a private loan for too long. The reason being is the interest rates are higher, the fees are higher. We have to have a plan and an exit strategy on how we're going to get out of that private mortgage. And I will help you design that plan to your liking. Now let's talk about some cons. Well, there are higher interest rates with private mortgage. There are also fees involved in a private mortgage. So typical fees are going to look anywhere from 2 to 4% for a private mortgage. And you know what? That's not too bad, because if you have to pay insurance fees like CMHC fees on a regular mortgage through a bank, I mean, the rates are 4 to 5% for those CMHC fees. Of course, one of the negatives and one of the cons is going to be that it is a shorter term loan. I know people like to set it and forget it when it comes to their mortgage. They like to get their mortgage, they put it on a 5-year term usually and let it go. Whereas a private mortgage is going to give you anywhere from 1 to 2 years to get your shit together and make sure you can pay those bills. Now, one of the nice things about private mortgages and the flexibility is that I can really negotiate with these lenders for you. There's about 50 private lenders in Alberta right now, and I go to all of them with your application and I grind them down on rates. Now, the private lenders kind of vie for the business that I send over to them because I send a lot to them. And because of that, they'll make some changes. So one of the changes I recently had for a client of mine is the woman was not in a great financial position, but she wanted to keep her house. I was able to build 1 year's worth of payments into the mortgage so that she didn't have to make any payments at all on her mortgage for 1 year term while she repairs her credit. But of course, private lenders are out there to make a buck. So the way it works is they're getting their money from private investors. So the private investors wants to make a buck, and the actual mortgage investment corp wants to make a dollar too. So because of that, every situation in a private mortgage world is different. So what do private lenders look for? Of course, they are looking for all of the paperwork that I talked about already, but they're also looking at where you are getting the mortgage and the property type. So if you're in a small town, it's very less likely that you can get a private mortgage. If you are in a trailer, then it's very less likely that the lender will fund that. The reason being is it's harder to sell, it's harder for them to get their money back. So let's talk rates. Private rates right now, currently in 2025, is anywhere between 7 and 12% for a private mortgage. B lenders, on the other hand, and I'll talk to you about that in another video, is anywhere from 5 to 7%. The fees involved in the private mortgage is anywhere from 2 to 4% right now, depending on which private lender. So one thing that comes up often is I'll get a discounted rate. Let's say we got you a rate at right at 7% with a private lender. Their fees might be higher than somebody with a rate of 7.2%. And overall, your interest would work out more on the lower rate because the fees are higher. So I will figure out how much interest you're paying overall, and I'll bring that to you and I'll say, okay, do you want the one with the lower fee or do you want the one with the higher rate? Which one makes more sense to you? So, what kind of people get private mortgages? First of all, people with bad credit get private mortgages all the time. If you have equity or you have a big down payment, you can get a private mortgage if you have bad credit. The second type of person that gets a private mortgage is an individual investor. A lot of times, investors will get to the point in their portfolio where they just have too much, and a private lender is the solution for these people. Builders also like to get private mortgages because private lenders do draws on the mortgage so that they can build a house, and they're doing this as a profit. There is also a private lender out there that specializes specifically in flipping houses, and they've niched down on that. So if you're planning on flipping a house, I can get you a private lender that will fund the flip. If you're under foreclosure, private lending is the solution, or if you owe back taxes, private lending is also the solution. So, for example, if you're getting your house taken away from the bank will no longer fund you for that mortgage. You need to get a private lender to pay off that bank. Then we flip you over to a different bank after the private mortgage is in place. It's security, it's protection for you, and it gets done, saves the house every time. And finally, people that need quick financing. If you have a deal that you need fast financing on, private lending is for you. So how do we get this all done? Quick, fast. Number one is you call me. I start a mortgage application with you. I use that same mortgage application and same credit bureau that I pull, and I send that over to the private lender. After that, we get an appraisal on the property that you choose. That's if you're buying a property. You can also get a private mortgage if you're refinancing your property as well to pull money out of the private loan. After the appraisal is done, I send that all into a whole bunch of different private lenders and I let them come back to me with their offers. I will present the best offers to you and you choose which one you want to get. And I'm also looking at the terms and conditions to make sure that's favorable for you. Private lenders have a lot of terms and conditions in their contract. And if you're not careful, you'll get caught paying more interest than what you have to. So my job is to protect you and to make sure that you get the best private loan possible and pay the least amount of interest. Next, we prepare the documents for the lawyer. The lender signs off on the approval. You sign off on the approval. We send the documents into the lawyer. You go and do your final signing, and then you can take possession of your property. So overall, private lending can be really, really good for the right person under the right circumstance. Call me if you do want to run through a scenario with me over the phone so that I can tell you if private lending's for you or if I can tell you if B lending is for you, and even find out if I can get you a great rate on an A mortgage with a regular bank. Sometimes banks make exceptions for people and they make exceptions for me often. If you want to save money on your mortgage, I'm one of the top mortgage brokers in Canada. Please call me with any questions and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.